Is feminism having a tragic effect on our men?
Yes.
It's our daily dilemma, and Brianna Domian from News Top.
Great idea. Let's ask a female feminist instead of a man. That will definitely give us an unbiased view of the topic. That will help break down the walls of our echo chambers built to reinstill an opinion thrown at us from BuzzFeed and Clementine Ford, with no attempt to broaden our intake of information and completely reject any opposing opinions, views, or values whenever they come up, and call it something-ism as a weak defense. Because we know that we don't have the facts and sources to cite on the spot to support anything we have to say, and let's be completely honest, we are terrified that someone with a shred of credible information will put us in our place and shame us in front of our so-called activist friends.
This is a pretty big accusation this writer is making.
It is, and I don't completely agree with it. I think there's no denying that male suicide is an epidemic. Men are 4 times more likely to take their own lives than women. But there's 11 million men in Australia, and there are hundreds of reasons why they consider or do take their own lives. Family breakdown, money issues, farmers that are struggling. Yeah. I don't believe that the empowerment of one group contributes to the disempowerment of another necessarily. So I don't think you can.
I don't think he's talking about feminism in the sense of women being empowered, but I think the sort of more extreme sort of offshoot of it, which holds things like that masculinity is intrinsically bad, or that men are inherently violent.
Look at the fear in this man's face right now, the fear that he's said something that one of these stupid women may take the wrong way and be offended. The fear of the barrage of bullshit hate mail he's likely to receive for these comments, and going against the very narrative that he just mentioned. One of men being evil, perpetrators of sexual assault and violence, and nothing more. The camera panning around to catch the confused glares of these fools to their colleague that puts up with their constant man-hating shit. At the same time, I don't pity this cuck in the slightest. This is what you get when you take a job at Channel 10 on a predominantly female talk show as the token male, so the network and producers of Studio 10 can claim not to be misandrist neoliberal retards spouting nothing but divisive rhetoric whilst claiming peace, love, tolerance and unity.
Violent, and we've seen a lot of that narrative around recently, that that men are fundamentally brutish, violent creatures, and that to express your masculinity is a bad thing. Yeah. And he seems to think, I mean, I'm not sure if that's a driver.
Where do you fit in?
Well, I'm very meek. I'm the proof that men aren't inherently violent, because I'm a big wuss. But
no, you're not, because you're sensitive and you
strong.
Yes, and I think you are. And
sensitivity is not what makes a capable man. Crying and bitching about your feelings will not cure depression. If you want to help men with mental health issues, then let them be men. Stop trying to convert them into your little cult of victimhood. It helps no one and only causes further damage to society.
I wonder though, in terms of rates of depression, more and more men are probably, well, I would like to think, getting help. Yeah. So perhaps that's why we're seeing an increase in the rates of depression among men. Yes. Because they're hopefully realising that it's not a sign of weakness, it is just an illness. Yeah. And there's incredible courage in actually putting your hand up and asking for help.
Absolutely.
Yes. And that is something that is only just starting. It's hard enough for... I found it difficult to talk about as a woman, but then for men, when you're meant to be capable and strong and bulletproof, I think it's that much more difficult.
And that's what all the research suggests, that men aren't able to talk about their feelings as much, and that's a contributor.
And that's a really good point that you make, Jess, that that men are expected to be a certain way. Do you feel that the empowerment of women, Jo, has changed kind of the roles that men are supposed to play, and that men are trying to find their place in a changed society now, or do you think all that's just bollocks? And
I agree with whatever you said.